Okay, everybody, welcome back for another Board Game Nation review. Today we're going to go through Terra Mystica. Pretty cool game, if I don't say so myself. Now, there is a run-through if you want to go see it, and also kind of a how to set up and rules. I don't know if I did a really great job of it. I'm feeling a little sick, so I'm probably all doped up. But if you want to go and check it out, please do. It will give you a much better feel for the game. So let's go through it. The theme of Terra Mystica is absolutely amazing, I think. People that believe that this is a kind of a soulless Euro game, there's nothing further from the truth. Maybe you should stop playing board games then. Because I feel the theme coming out. Every time I put out that building, it's amazing. You know, I really feel like, hey, I'm putting out my dwelling, and that dwelling is producing workers, and those workers are going to build a trade house. And then when I build the trade house, hey, you know, now it's cheaper when it's beside people because it's a trade house. And you know, there's all these mechanisms, and the actual transforming of the tiles is really kind of thematic. You have to live in what you want. The witches want to live in the forest, so they transform everything into forest magically, you know, and there is a theme there. It works very well. And the small player boards with the actual buildings on it, it's really amazing mechanism, and it's probably one of the best mechanisms and most thematic mechanisms that I've ever seen in a you know, a strict kind of Euro strategy game. It's thick and vibrant, and I absolutely enjoy, you know, crunching over the real hard decisions of building my empire. There's a lot of choice in this game. There's obviously a path, and for each different faction, there's definitely better strategies than not. And players that have played this game several times are probably going to beat the pants off of a beginner. But that just says that this game has a lot of depth, and there's not a lot of luck, and it's a good strategy game, right? So it's always. It's definitely not anything to fault the game for. The track of the wind, the fire, the water, that kind of track. A lot of people don't like it. They feel like it's not part of the game. I really do. I think that you really have to focus on it and don't forget it, because if you don't, you're going to lose. It brings something to the game that that makes it difficult to grow your empire, because you have a tendency of trying to ignore it, or you know, you're going to ignore it, and if you do, you're going to lose. So it makes choices harder, and I still think it's thematic. I still think those are the gods, or the, you know, wind, earth, and fire. They worship it, so you have to pay attention to it. You have to send your meeples out. And typically, if you get into a good rhythm with this game, you're going to have enough priests at the end of the game to bump you up on that track. But you can end up being, you know, in a dead heat with people in this game, or you can be way back, you know, with tiny amount of victory points than everybody else, because of the choices that you made. And that's the great thing about this game. Everything comes down to the choices that you make. There are some good choices, and then there are some bad choices, and you really, you know, besides other players kind of keeping you off of places that you want to go, there's no luck to it. It's completely your fault if you kind of botch this game. So that's that. The artwork is amazing. I think this board, everything, it's an amazing, well done, beautiful board. It was published by Z-Man Games, and what else? Some company I don't know how to pronounce. Anyways, but the art is amazing. And I've seen a couple other games that kind of look like it and probably the same artist, and it's always wonderful. The actual faction boards, this makes the game. It's beautiful. There's another expansion that come out. I'll do a run through of that as well, or I'll talk about it. I'll go do a review. I don't think I'll do a run through just because it's the same game. It just adds a couple of different characters to it and fixes up a board. For players that are really into the game, the board's a little different. So the artwork, it's amazing. The actual layout is amazing. Time, it's funny. It's a big, heavy, giant Euro, but you know, when you get to play after a couple times, you can bang out this game within an hour. I've done it, and that's very rare for me, to bang out a game in an hour. Which I'm not saying that this game isn't going to take you 3 hours the first time you play, because it probably will. But you can definitely knock it out fairly quickly. Mechanisms, I've already talked about some of the mechanisms. They are smooth, they are perfect, there's nothing wrong with them. They make your brain hurt when you try to see what you want to do. And that's typically what you want to do in this game. You want to see past your next move. You need to see how much resources you have for this round, and you need to allocate them for this round, and maybe utilize a particular thing that happens on the board. But rarely, it's mostly just sitting down and thinking 5 turns ahead, and that's the kind of game it is. If you don't like it, it's definitely not the game for you then. The good points, everything to do with this game I absolutely love. I can't fault a single thing on it. The only thing I can say is I want more. Negative things, there is no negative things. I actually took this board game to Jamaica with me, and Costa Rica with me. I know, I'm a geek. But this box doesn't have a dent in it. It's like the most solid game ever. I took Nations as well. Didn't play it, but I did play this, and it you know, the box kind of crumpled up on me. It was a beautiful product in every way possible. I love the extra special abilities. I love the fact that as soon as you start the game, you are unique to the actual game. Your abilities, your character is unique. Rating, this is a 10 out of 10. This is the best board game that I have, and I have a lot of them. If you are into Euro games, then you have to get this. This is by far one of my favorite games. There's a couple other games that I really enjoy, like Nations and Caverna and Agricola, but I would probably choose this one over any of the other ones. Maybe Nations. Like, I mean, Nations is one of my favorite games of all time as well, and really these two games always fight over top place. But it is perfect in every way. There's a couple of things that Nations, for instance, it's a bit long. It's hard to teach to people. I find that this is in the middle of the road for everything. For a big heavy Euro, this works. It's easy to explain. People kind of get it. The mechanisms make sense. So it is the best game on the market, in my opinion. So you should go get it. Okay, so that's it from me for Board Game Nation. Thank you very much. Subscribe to my channel, give me some thumbs up, and have a good night.